Alrighty guys, how's it going? Nurbo here. Hope everyone's having a good day. Fours, how you doing, man? How did your day go today, man? Let's do quick shoutouts. And Chad, how you doing? I also already sent you over your card back. So that is their friend. Let's see here.
Okay, I gotta do it the fast way.
Fours, oh my god, you didn't have to do that. Thank you so much. 8 months of support, I appreciate that.
That was...
You are awesome, my friend. Thank you so much for that.
Dale?
Love you too, Fours.
Who's
If you
that
guys
Dale?
haven't checked out Fours, you guys really need to.
Lord, go on without me. Save the ship. I'll find my way home.
And he never was heard from again. Alright. Really quick, we got some good news and stuff like that. Got some rest. Not really. I didn't sleep well. I literally just got home, did some errands around the house, and now I'm starting up stream. Now I get to rest later tonight. Hopefully the baby sleeps well. We'll see. That's kind of how it goes. I wish. I just had to power through it. That's all. But it's fine. We got the energy. We're going to keep it going. This will be good. We have a lot of news today, actually. Like, a lot. This was a very, like, news-heavy week. Some interesting trailers, too, although, you know how I usually do. I cut down to 8 interesting ones that I felt like wasn't too hard. But as far as, like, news, there's a lot of stuff that happened this week. So, let's start right off the bat with... Let's get our little window open here. Microsoft, as always, doing stuff. During the Xbox 2 podcast, known industry Jez Corden gave new details on the Marvel vs. Capcom collection coming to Xbox, claiming that Microsoft is actively working with Capcom to bring MT framework support to the Xbox. Not only will this allow upcoming Marvel vs. Capcom fighting collection, arcade classics to come to Xbox, but multiple other Capcom titles, including the recently remastered Monster Hunter Stories and Great AC Attorney. I actually didn't know that. MT Framework is not heavily used nowadays, but back in the day, a lot of older games had it. It was big on PC and stuff like that. Capcom apparently used it for a lot of their older games, and apparently they didn't have that support on Xbox, which is why they're like the only ones I think that didn't get this collection. So, cool. If you guys are Marvel vs. Capcom fans, which I know was a huge hit when that came out, yeah, keep an eye on that. That will be coming eventually. There we go. That was weird. My bot was disconnected there for a second. Reconnected now, so we're good. Fluffy never didn't cry during the plate save. I like that game. Yeah, well, you don't have that issue, Chad, so you should be fine. Following that story, we have this story. DF Direct did something interesting. I actually watched this podcast, so I remember watching this podcast live, and then the next day seeing the update happen. NeoGAF, a video game forum site, reported that new and old original Xbox One consoles were no longer functioning due to a lack... Go away, ads. Due to a lack of system software update. Used consoles sold on eBay and factory reset consoles were also having the same issues. It seems to be Xbox One hardware that was running older firmware had the same issue. It seems... I actually just repeated myself. Yeah. That the older running firmware had the biggest risk of not being able to update effectively, breaking the hardware until Microsoft can come up with a solution. If affected units aren't reset, the dashboard works, the games running from disks work, but anything requiring an online connection would not function without access to the latest system software revisions. It's impossible to access Xbox Live or any other of its features, and we can safely assume that the digital purchase requiring an online check-in also won't work, unless the machine is set up as a primary account holder or home console. So, this is basically what DF Direct did. How do we have... So, basically, what they said is, how do we have an update as of July 30th? Microsoft... Oh, sorry, this was a response from them. They have an update, and as of July 30th, which was the day after the DF Direct that they reported on this, Jason Ronald from Microsoft confirmed that the issue impacting Xbox One consoles unable to update has been resolved via server-side fix thanks to the team at Digital Foundry for notifying them with their DF Direct weekly podcast. I thought that was pretty cool. Like, they actually reported on. Basically, that was kind of a lot of jargon and words, but basically what was happening, the Xbox One, the old original Xbox One, not the One X, it was not updating properly, and an update came out which basically bricked the console, which, to a degree, not really bricked it, but did brick it to a degree. Basically, it wouldn't update, so anything with an online connection would not work on the console anymore. And Xbox One is around the era that where we started doing digital store stuff. So that means people who had games digitally could not install their games. But if you had a disc, you could run games. You can use the console. You just couldn't do anything that involved online, which was kind of like, I guess, a partial bricking. The problem was that the firmware, the original firmware on it, was apparently not communicating properly with the update, and that essentially was destroying the console, like, online setup. They did send out a new update that fixed that problem, so the internet would work on it again, and it would so on. So no parts needed. It just needed a different software type of update or fix. I guess the software update is what messed it up at the end of the day. And that was apparently fixed thanks to their DF Direct and them reporting that, which is pretty cool. It saddens me that everything is brickable with an update nowadays. It really is, but I mean, that's the age we live in. Like, the closer we get to the closer we get to just digital and no physical media, the closer that's going to happen. There's been actual, like, interesting videos out there in regards to kernel level anti-cheat, because that can kind of do the same thing that CloudStrike did to all those businesses. Remember, CloudStrike, if you guys remember hearing about that or not, CloudStrike was a huge thing, and that's gonna get involved in legal stuff. There's a lot of legal shit happening right now that you guys probably don't know about, and most of you don't know about because it involves companies. It's not in our computers. CloudStrike is more for corporations and corporate type of computers, so like big server stuff and all that. So like that's why airlines, hospitals, all that stuff was affected by that. But we have anti-cheat in our personal computers, and that's essentially nearly the same thing as CloudStrike, and that can essentially do the same thing that CloudStrike did. And it's funny because like there's a lot of videos going up about shit like that now after what happened with CloudStrike. Same thing happened to my Samsung Blu-ray. They didn't want to repair it. Oh, that's bullshit. Like, I feel like that's just wrong. When they're at fault, they need to do something about it. Even if it's like out of warranty and stuff. Like, that's completely different. Like, you bricked it. Like, that ain't right. Our next story is an interesting one. I'll be honest with you. Also kind of sad, because it just goes to show that all these organizing events like FIFA, who still does not have a FIFA soccer game at the moment, are complete idiots. The International Olympic Committee, or IOC for short, walked away from its partnership with Nintendo and Sega with their long-running Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games franchise in order to explore deals with new partners, such as NFTs and esports. Yes, I said that, NFTs. They want to look at other partners and NFTs in esports. Lee Cocker, who worked on almost every entry in the series, told Eurogamer. Basically, the IOC wanted to bring it back to themselves internally and look at other partners so that they can get more money. This is what he says. With Nintendo and Sega mascots ditched, the IOC has gone elsewhere. It's not been well promoted, but this year's Paris 2024 game do have an official video game tie-in. The Olympics Go Paris 2024, a free-to-play smartphone-focused effort from San Francisco and Seoul-based company Enway, which previously developed several Power Rangers games. You can compete in 12 Olympic sports such as archery, gymnastics, 100-meter athletics, swimming, and golf, and more. And there's NFTs too, of course. You can claim a legendary or epic pin showcasing the Paris 2024 mascot holding a flag and waving. You can add these digital gems to your collection through Magic Eden's friendly NFT marketplace as part of Coinbase's Onichan summer event. That's kind of sad if you ask me, because they did that. He's claiming, which I'm willing to believe, he's claiming that they switched to this concept and this idea so that they can make more money, and they will make more money if people do go and buy NFTs and stuff like that. I really hope it's a flop. I hope that they do really badly, and I hope that they learn to respect what they have, because like the Mario Sonic Olympic series was pretty popular, if I remember correctly. But are you doing your part, this person? I am doing my part by not getting involved in the game.
My part.
Doing my part.
I'm doing my part. I didn't do fucking shit.
Next up, we have some good news. Flintlock has reached 500,000 players. Good for them. I really hope they make more success though, because I believe they were with Xbox, and Xbox is a little scary at the moment for people who don't put out successful games. And then following that up, we have a cluster fluff of a mess that happened this week. This is probably the biggest thing that happened all week long, and it just went on. So Bungie continues with bad leadership decisions, with 222 roles being eliminated, representing 17% of the studio workforce. Everyone affected by this job reduction will be offered a generous exit package, including severance, bonus, and healthcare coverage. There will also be 155 roles being integrated into Sony Interactive Entertainment, roughly another 12% of the company. This leaves the company with 850 team members building Destiny and Marathon. Bungie had this to say for the reasoning of these layoffs. For over 5 years, it has been our goal to ship these games in 3 enduring global franchises. To realize that ambition, we set up several incubation projects, each seated with senior development leaders from our existing teams. We eventually realized that this model stretched our talent too thin, too quickly. It also forced our studio support structure to scale to a larger level than we could realistically support. Given our 2 primary products in development, Destiny and Marathon, additionally in 2023, our rapid expansion ran headlong into a broad economic slowdown. A sharp downturn in the game industry, our quality missed with Destiny 2 Lightfall, and the need to give both for the Final Shape and Marathon the time needed to ensure both projects deliver at the quality our players expect and deserve. We were overly ambitious, our financial margins were subsequently exceeded, and we began running in the red. More news followed. Oh, now that's this right here, okay? Before I continue, that's this. This is Bungie's statement. This is Pete Parsons' response to us. This is what he was saying that happened. This is why this happened, okay? This goes on next week, because then the following day, or 2 days later, there was more on this story. And came from IGN, ironically. More news followed this story the next day as former workers claimed in the new GameFile forum report published Bungie misrepresented it in finances and has significantly overextended itself when Sony acquired Studio for $3.6 billion in 2022. Their comments painted that the picture of a studio that was struggling despite the success of Destiny and Destiny 2 due to supporting too many projects and other problems. Following the Sony acquisition, GameFile source claimed that Bungie repeatedly missed its financial targets, leading to roughly 100 employees being laid off in November 2023. We reported that as well. Bungie is also spinning out one of its incubation projects to form a new studio under the PlayStation banner, possibly connected to the 155 being integrated into Sony Interactive Entertainment. So not only did they integrate them, it's possible those people were part of this other project that PlayStation now has where they're trying to, I guess, save some of that talent because that's what they bought Bungie for, and create another studio under the Sony banner, like under Sony, not under Bungie. So it's possible that they're doing that. There's a good chance this might continue to happen and Bungie might continue to lose people. But hopefully those people don't end up on the streets looking for work like the other 220 people and the other 100 people from before. But hopefully end up in that Sony situation where at least, they have work. But basically, to summarize, if you guys didn't catch all that, leadership at Bungie was apparently already running bad before they even got picked up by Sony. They were already kind of running in the red is what these guys were saying. And then to make it even worse, after they were acquired by Sony for $3.6 billion, they took that money and they just wastefully used it in dumb ways. They grew the studio. They created small little teams throughout the studio, all working on their own private projects to try to get something out, which nothing really came out of that. And then to make it even worse, which is not reported here, I reported this some time ago, they also spent $80 million on building, which I'm not even sure it's done, building a new headquarters in Washington. Which is just absurd. Because it's not even like a normal amount of money to build there, apparently. Like, they're building a smart building, which is like technology up the wazoo in that building. Like, they've just done nothing but like spend money, just misplaced resources instead of putting them where they should be focusing and getting things done. It's just a mess, man. It's a complete mess. Leave Bungie alone. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm not gonna be surprised if half of that studio disappears, whether that be through layoffs or going into this potentially. I'm gonna call it Sony Bungie, okay, or Sonagy. I don't know. What do we call it? What do we call this new Sony studio? I'm gonna call it Sonagy or something like that. Or I'm gonna call it Bunny. How about that? Bunny's better. Or maybe they go into this Bunny, which would be the more ideal thing. It's called Bungie. No, you completely missed the whole story, Chad. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting where that goes. It's not looking good for them for sure. Following that up, we got some good stuff here. We got PlayStation Plus monthly games for August. All playable as of August 6th. We have Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, PS4, PS5. For Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, PS4, PS5. Ender Lilies, Quintess of Nights, PS4. One second. Just making some adjustments there on the AC. And your last chance to download July games will be August 6th until September 22nd. And that's going to be PlayStation Plus. Oh, PlayStation Plus, you have till August 6th to download Borderlands 3, NHL 24, and Among Us to their libraries. All three games will be available for PlayStation Plus members. on August 6th until September 2nd. So you have till September 2nd to download those games if you guys have the PlayStation Plus membership. Did you say Five Nights at Freddy? Yes. Do you have PlayStation Plus, Chad? Because there you go. It's there. It is there. This is all as of August 6th. Okay? So in 2 days, it'll be there. It's not there. It's gonna be there. Then we got... I feel like they're a little late to the party because I could have sworn... I don't know about Switch, but I could have sworn PlayStation already did this. You can now use Discord on your Xbox console without having to use the Discord app on PC or mobile. If your Xbox and Discord accounts are linked, you can opt in to have your Discord friends included in your friends list, or Discord friends will show up. Discord friends will show up on your right side under Happening Now whenever they are playing a game or chatting in Discord voice. Watch anyone who is streaming directly on their Xbox console when you're connected to Discord calls or in voice channels, or you can stream your own gameplay to your Discord friends too. Essentially, there's no more convoluted way in as far as like getting your Discord to work on Xbox. PlayStation had this too, where it was like you had to use an app on your phone or the computer to like connect, and you could then use it through your PlayStation or Xbox. You don't have to do that anymore. Now it's like just directly through your dashboard, the console all by itself. So there you go. I spent $80 for a sub. What do you mean you spent $80 for a sub? Oh, you're talking about for the PlayStation Plus? Is that for the whole year? That's pricey, man. Jesus. I hope that's for the whole year. Because PlayStation Plus is not that. It's for a year, okay. That's not too bad, I guess. I don't know what's on there, so I can't really judge. Plus, I don't feel the need for something like that for myself, but there are benefits to these subscription services if you do game a ton. This is a little sad, but like, wow. At the same time, some of you guys might know about this, some of you might not. ROMHacking.net is shutting down after 20 years, and in their statement, they had this to say. It's a very different world than it was in 2005. Copyright pressure increases dramatically with takedowns and legal burdens. The site shifted from serving mostly contributing humans to bots and overzealous people abusing resources. They drowned everybody else out. The need for the site was lessened over time. There are now many options for community discussions, open source projects, and file storage across the internet. For a while, I was looking for a successor within the circles of site supporters. I asked several potential people, but the stars did not align. I wanted to provide the site database and file archives to the general public. At the time, an internal group suddenly emerged with an offer to help continue the site. I questioned their intentions, but I thought it could prove to be a more community-friendly path forward. However, it turned out to be the opposite. We had a rocky phase 1, moving the downloads to their possession. When I went to start up phase 2, I discovered the most dishonest and hateful-filled group. I learned that I had been dehumanized for a long time. My personal details had been given out. Deceitful plots had been made to cut me out and drop a bomb like I am a target to be destroyed. My family has seen this, and after discussion, we are immediately seizing all related site operations. We are cutting ties to Discord and Twitter, social media outlets, and we will no longer contact with these individuals. Lines were crossed. So, this is like sad and disgusting at the same time. So if any of you guys know what romhack.net is, it's a site where people would download emulators and the game ROMs. A lot of these games no longer accessible in any unless you go and spend a buttload of money on eBay. And this was a really great preservation thing, for games. Unfortunately, this guy the owner of the site tried to do something nice for the community and tried to pass it on to somebody. And at the end of the day, he ended up finding a group of people that seemed alright. Turns out they weren't. Apparently, they were a bunch of pieces of garbage that leaked out all his personal information. They basically made him a target for people. It's really messed up what they did. So he has now decided to just shut down the site and leave everything up for the general archives, and that's it. And he's shutting down the site. So there will no longer be any more ROM hacking. Unfortunately, there will be no successor to it, unfortunately, as well. There are other sites out there that also do this that hopefully can take over the space that is being left by romhacking.net. Because to be honest, they are one of the longest running ones and one of the best. So it is a very, very sad day to see that go. That's right. Is Stellar Blade the only game for you? What do you mean? Stellar Blade the only game for me. I would like to play Stellar Blade. Fortunately, I cannot. Our next story is Prison Architect 2. Has been delayed indefinitely. If any of you guys have been pre-ordered that, I have a little bit of sad news, but that's okay because your money should have been refunded. Paradox had this statement to say in regards to this. Our continuous internal reviews and beta test groups have highlighted areas that we need to focus on more, mainly performance and content, which we need to address before launch to ensure that you, the players, get a good experience in the game. We need to raise the quality a bit more to meet the standards we'd like to achieve with this sequel, and at this stage we can't commit to new release date as we need to reassess the scope of the work needed to be done before the game is release ready. Over the next few months, we will focus on improving the game and building a more robust release timeline. With this indefinite delay, pre-orders on all platforms will be refunded, and the pre-order items will be added to the base game. This is not the announcement we hope to make, but it is necessary, as we believe this will result in a better game for you. Thank you for your patience, and we'll see you again soon. So, sadly, if you did pre-order this, it should have been refunded. It is indefinitely delayed, as they are working on it. Paradox has had a bunch of issues with a lot of their games lately, and this is just part of their redoubling, retripling, probably quadrupling down their efforts to fix all the problems and put out some good products like they are known for. They went even as far as to say that the initial what's the term that they use here? They don't even say DLC. It's pre-order items. Okay, so the pre-order items are now going to be part of the base game. So for people who did pre-order this, great, you were going to get that anyway. But for people who were not pre-ordering it, you'll now get that regardless, those items. So like, that's kind of a nice thing to do for the community in general. So they'll pull through. Paradox has been around for a long time. Paradox has weathered many storms. They'll be fine. But yeah, just a heads up, if you were wondering if you haven't checked, your pre-order probably got canceled, you probably got refunded, and if it did and you didn't understand why, well, that's why. The sad news keeps coming with a very sad X posting from Game Informer. Game Informer has officially shut down. In a statement on X, they had this to say: after 33 thrilling years of bringing you the latest news and reviews and insight from the ever-evolving world of gaming, it is with heavy heart that we announce the closure of Game Informer. From the early days of pixelated adventures to today's immersive virtual realms, we've been honored to share this incredible journey with you, our loyal readers. While our presses may stop, the passion for gaming that we've cultivated together will continue to live on. Thank you for being part of our epic quest, and may your own gaming adventures never end. So, bye-bye Gaming Informer. I have a lot of fond child memories of Gaming Informer. It was one of the few magazines I bothered to look at and read. I would get one because I would constantly go to GameStop, and that was like a GameStop reward subscription thing, which was awesome. So, gonna miss that for sure. Been a long time since I've looked at Game Informer, I'll be honest with you, because they kind of never... They did have the digital thing, but it wasn't the same thing. Like, they should have went the IGN route where they started an actual website, but they didn't. They just started posting their magazine to emails, and then like I stopped going to GameStop because I buy all my games digital now. So yeah, I guess you could say I'm also part of the problem as to why GameStop is eventually going to close down too. And yeah, never saw that stuff again. There's one thing I completely forgot to put in here, but I got this. Hold on. The Epic Games for this week, the free games on the Epic, if you guys haven't collected them yet, is Lumberjack, Lumberjack, yeah, and Ramen Food Fighter Arena. So go pick it up now before Thursday. Free games. And then our last news story is Twitch news. So earlier in the week, Twitch announced a free 3-month Apple TV Plus for new and gift subbers. By the way, Fours, if this is your first time gift subbing this week, you should go check your account. You should have a free Apple Plus, Apple TV, for free, something like that. You know what I mean. Just check your stuff. If you guys have been gift subbing stuff, or you're a new sub in a channel, you should go check that out. But yeah, free new for gift subbers. Well, apparently, the day of this launching, they posted on X that they discovered an issue with the current Apple TV Plus promotion, where some eligible users were not immediately granted their codes. They have implemented a fix for all future purchases and are working to fulfill the codes for impacted users as soon as possible. So, yeah, apparently the day that this launched, there was problems. It didn't do what it was supposed to. They have fixed that since. They put out a post saying that they fixed that, and that should be fine. Right, your sub wasn't a gift, that's right. But if you have gift subbed in other channels, I mean, check. You just have to gift sub in one channel, and you should have it. So if you've done it, it's there. But yeah, there you go. So apparently that's fixed. You should have codes. People who were affected, they are reprimanding that and sending you your codes. But you should have your codes for a 3-month free Apple TV Plus thing. That should be fixed. And that kind of does it for the news segment. We now move on to trailers. And we got 8 pretty interesting ones, I feel. I feel like this week had some good stuff. Let's start off with Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. Yes, they made a Quidditch game.
The day so many of you have been waiting for is here. The path to the Quidditch World Cup begins now.
It's like legitimate Quidditch.
Your careers will take you to larger and larger venues as you compete for various championships. If you're looking for even more competition as you sharpen your skills, you'll find there are many ways to compete against the best of the best. With enough hard work, talent, and practice,
I'm down to play this. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I played Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone on PlayStation 2, and they had a Quidditch like game mode in there for the story. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like I digged it a lot. I feel like it's about time they put some Quidditch. They made a Quidditch game.
All athletes are encouraged to style themselves however they desire. Alright, that's enough chit-chat. Now get to your brooms and get to work!
By the way, did you see that, Chad? Oh, goddammit. Why are you doing this to me? Available PlayStation Plus, day 1. So save the date. Save the date. For September 3rd. That's what you're doing on your stream. Save that date so that you can represent your Slytherin team, Chad. I'm gonna put that on my top 10. Whoa, big words, man. Big words. You haven't even played it yet, you sure? The next game looked pretty interesting to me. Here is a game called Immortal Gates of Pyre. The interesting thing about this is that, like, there's another game called Stormgate, and I'm just looking at this, I'm like, holy crap, are RTSs back? Are RTSs fun again? Are they bringing it back? Steam playtest August 2nd to August 4th, which is today. Last day on that. Good chance you can't get in now, but yep, there you go. If you guys want to try. Next up on our trailers thing is a VR game which doesn't really interest me, to be honest, but the way that it looks, it reminds me of a game that I did like, which is the game Alien. The Alien game. What was it called? Alien. Goddamn, that Alien game where you ran around, running away from the alien. Well, here's a VR game called Alien Rogue Incursion. Isolation. Yeah, that's the word. This is Rogue Incursion, which is actually a VR game. But man, does it look like Isolation.
There's no easy way to say this. I found
the way that this looks, though, like, I feel like they can make this into a not VR game.
And soon, that number is gonna include me.
I really hope they put this
and infected.
in a non-VR setup as well.
It's in your hands now. I want you to know that I never gave up. Never stopped fighting, even after those things. Not once did I bow my head. By the time you hear this, I will have carved my name on the surface of this planet with a smoking crater. Zula Hendricks, signing off.
I'm telling you, I'm burning the whole ship down. It definitely makes you want to. Yeah. On MetaQuest 3, Steam, PlayStation Plus VR. The next trailer we have here is something that I thought was interesting because it looks exactly like another game. Here is a game called Wild Assault.
1991. Years of war finally concluded.
Can you guys guess what game this looks like?
Rumor has it that clues about the Pharaoh relic have appeared in the Mojave Desert. Soon, legions and forces are drawn here, and the tension was on the edge.
Roger that. Defeat me first.
Nope, not Overwatch.
You've pissed me off.
Just wait for the gameplay.
Let's move.
Because I saw this too and I was like, what is going on here? Is this another Overwatch? But nope.
I got you in my sight.
Yeah. Pay really close attention. It's Apex Legends, man. Just with furries.
We were destined to win.
The interesting thing is they are kind of going a bit more of like team fights, it looks like. Instead of like just BR. This is not a Nurbo game. This is not a Nurbo game. And then we have another game to follow up called the next game is called Mars 2120. This is actually kind of interesting because it looks a lot
happened. They broke loose and are now
like Metroid
in the
Dread.
colony. It's a bloodbath. What have we done?
Yeah, like the more I look at it, the more I'm like, man, this looks a lot like Metroid Dread. What the fluff was that? One second, let me just check something here. Yeah, that shouldn't be popping up. I don't know why that's showing. I might just turn that off then. Screw it. Yeah, okay. Moving on. Got distracted. I don't like that's popping up on the screen, the Tangia thing. The next game we have also reminds me of another game that already exists. Let's see if you guys can spot it. Hi-Fi. How did you get Hi-Fi Rush from this? Jeez, Chad, give it more than 2 seconds. Valorant. Yep. Looks exactly like Valorant. Now the thing is, Force plays Counter-Strike. I'm curious if this does anything for you, Force. Spectre Divide. Okay then. Next up is a pretty funny looking trailer in my opinion. Here is Wreckfest 2.
They hurt you pretty bad, didn't they? I haven't seen you this scarred since last September.
This is Chad talking to his car.
Come on, move it! Get out of my way, jerk! Maybe I overreacted a bit too much. But we'll get you sorted out. Come on! Move it! Get the f out of my way! God damn it, now what? Yeah, that's right. You messed with the wrong guy, buddy. Next time, I promise not to lose my temper.
There's never driving insurance. Nah, this is definitely you, man. Look at all the sand. It's definitely Arizona.
Damn amateur. Out of the way. Stop driving like my grandma. She's 6 feet under. L-O-V-E. Move it. You take that piece of throw it under. Oh, feels like something came out between the seat.
Oh, that's a good trailer. That's a nice mentality, man. Have fun with your trailers, you know? That's awesome. And then, probably the coolest trailer out of all of these trailers, here is Gothic 1 Remake.
Enough. Send him in.
Welcome to the Valley of Mines, an immense penal colony. For the war against the Orcs,
He said
the
penal.
only undefeated enemies of the Kingdom of Murtana, the king needed ore to supply his armies. So every man guilty of a crime, no matter how insignificant, was forced to work in the ore mines of Khorinis. To make it impossible for them to escape, the king sent out his best magicians to create a magical barrier around the entire valley. But something disturbed the creation of the barrier, trapping everyone inside.
No, I'm running things fine
The
on my
convicts
PC now.
revolted and took control of the colony.
I've just
divided
gotten rid of the
into
frame
three
gen.
camps.
I'm not doing frame gen stuff
The old
anymore on my
camp is
PC.
satisfied with the current situation.
Maybe when I get a stronger
As long
processor
as
and
they deliver
motherboard,
the
but
ore,
for now,
the
no.
king supplies them with everything they need. The new camp, however, thinks they can use the ore to blow up the barrier. And then there is the sect from the swamp. They believe that a mysterious new deity will free them from their prison. Thus begins your journey in the open world of the Valley
This,
of Mines.
if a lot of you might not know
Creating
what Gothic
Remake,
is,
we focus on the four pillars
but this is
we
like
consider the
what
core of the
Skyrim was
series.
before Skyrim ever
Simulation
existed.
of a living world, exploration.
This right here is like the
story,
forefather
and combat.
to the open world fantasy RPG.
Like the original 2001 title, Gothic Remake is set on creating an immersive and realistic world. Enjoy a complex life simulation on a scale hardly ever seen before in a video game. During the day, the inhabitants of the colony carry out a variety of activities, while nature, rich in all its diversity, lives out its own rhythm. All this gives the impression that this world can exist without the player. Explore the colony on your own and enjoy the unprecedented freedom this open world offers. In true RPG fashion, you decide when and where you go next. Meet numerous interesting characters, understand their inner motivations, and earn their respect by completing a series of elaborate quests. How you solve or handle their problems depends entirely on your choices. No matter when, in what order, or if you do anything at all, the game will always respond appropriately to your decisions. Experience a complex and demanding combat system with satisfying character progression. Overcome your opponents using a variety of melee weapons, eliminate them from a distance, or learn the arcana of magic. Remember that each type of weapon behaves differently. Its effectiveness depends on training. We're aware that when creating a remake of a beloved title, it is hard to live up to the expectations of its long-term fans. However, we feel there is room to develop the experience further by telling new stories from the colony and expanding on those that die-hard fans have known for more than 2 decades. We are also focusing our attention on enhancing many aspects of gameplay, such as diverse NPC routines and reactions, more complex crafting, and more rewarding character progression. Despite the passage of time, Gothic remains in the hearts and minds of many players. With the possibilities of Unreal Engine 5 and a variety of modern features, Gothic Remake will soon rekindle that love. Whether you've been a loyal fan for years or are just looking for a true RPG experience, welcome back to the colony.
That looks awesome. That is definitely my kind of game. So, like, kind of excited for that. I will most likely not play it day one, as I don't play anything day one. But, still excited for that. So eventually get that in my hands, whenever that may be. And with that, we have now covered the news and trailers part of this this stream. I am going to say really quick for anyone who watches this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. Each one of those helps to appease the algorithm gods and make this stream into a reality. So I greatly appreciate it. And for all of us here on Twitch, I'm going to change my outfit, and we are going to jump into some No Man's Sky. Mainly because I got really into it last time I played for Chaos, and I want to get my base built up and all that stuff. So, give me 2 seconds to